Hi everyone, I'm going to do an original page today and I'm starting with the white backing of a paper napkin. I've got two plies here and I'm going to use them both. I'm going to spray them with my homemade sprays from gel food coloring and water. And if you don't have gel food coloring, another option is to use a powdered fabric dye. Of course, if you have brushos or magicals or whatever, go for it. We don't have it here. And basically what we are going to do is turn this into one of this. I love this stuff. I'm always using it if it's for a background, if it's for gluing them to any kind of paper, and using for making embellishments, and anything goes, even on boxes that I've altered. So it's really a nice to work with. Okay, so we are starting with this, and first of all, if you want to get rid of the folds, first take a water and spray it, and always work on something that later on, when everything is wet, you can lift it. Otherwise you can't lift the paper napkin with your hands, it will tear. So now the water also helps for the spray to spread around, so I like to go all over like this. And I've picked some colors here and I'm just going to spray it randomly. Now be adventurous, do all kinds of color combinations, and don't be afraid. It's just a paper napkin. Have at it. And I'm also letting them mix, and as you can see, I'm putting quite a lot, and I like that it's getting puddles. The water helps everything go places, but also I'm putting quite a lot of spray because I want these puddles. When I do these puddles, then I get interesting effects like this. And I'm using the two plies, one on top of each other. I haven't separated them because when it dries, the second layer also gets an interesting effect. So here we go. Now I will only need to move it aside and let it dry. So I'll be back. Okay, so I set it aside and I'm going to use the one that I've already prepared in advance, although I do have all of this. So this is the upper layer and this is the one underneath, and as you can see, a little bit different. And just so you will see another effect, if you put less spray, then this how the second layer underneath will look like. So another way to go about it. So art journal, this is a sketchbook paper, and I'm just going to put some white glue with a plastic card, just so I won't have too much on my page. Okay, so now I'm taking my paper napkin and let's see, how do I want to go? Never mind, let's move this, and I'm going only here I'm going to put it in line like so, but otherwise I want wrinkles, so I'm just putting it here so I'll have something like a straight line. And what I'm going to do is now make some mess. So I've got this, and now I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to go over it with glue and very gently and work with the flat of the brush from the inside towards the outside, always with working with paper napkins. And my glue is kind of thick most of the time when working with paper napkins. I add a little bit of water. Let's see. When the glue is too thick, then it pulls on the paper napkin and you don't want it. Okay, I think I have another glue with more water, so and it's stuck. Of course. Now, okay, that's more like it. Now we are moving on. I wanted the wrinkles to get texture, and oopsie, never mind. I want the wrinkles, then I can go in, back in, and just add a little more of the paper napkin, another piece, if something tears. Like here, I tore it. I can take a little piece and just glue in place. That's what happens when I'm trying to be quick. Okay, I'm really hoping I covered everything. Lots of glue here, and I keep tearing my paper napkin. Okay, I'm going to leave it be. It needs to be completely dry before I continue, and we are going to move on to the focal points. So I've made again two new stencils, and before I started cutting this and this, and then I decided that I wanted to use them, not to use as a stencil, just the outlines. So what came out of it is this. So I started, I just done the outlines, and then I doodled inside here the flower. I left it as is, and I already colored this with the inktense pencil. Boy, how this is expensive. And of course you can color with what you want. You can use watercolors, pencils, the regular ones, whatever you have. You can even use felt pens, whatever you feel comfortable with. And of course you can use, if you have stencils that you want to use them to trace the outlines. If not, then you can always cut something if it's from magazines, brochures. And best way I think is to go for a free printables on the web, and also coloring pages. And even coloring pages, if you don't want the complete as is, you can again just take the outline and do whatever you want on the inside, doodle, color with it however you want. So I'm not an expert on watercolors and watercolor pencils or the inktense. I just got them saved for them. It really is expensive. I think it's the most expensive thing I have here. So the only thing that I can explain about them is pick your colors and move from the lighter color towards the darker color. And I've tried it on one. I've done one Dragonfly. I'm going to show it to you. Here it is. These are the colors that I've tried them. And the shimmer is, I went over the wings with this nail polish, which is quite clear. It's only the glitter inside that makes all this shiny, well, shiny glittery thing. So I really like this Dragonfly, but I'm not sure about this coloring, and I want something more subtle like my flower. And I'm going to pick this purple, and I'm going to start here and just put some, and this is the part where I want darker color. And if I want it to be lighter, I will just put, I won't put as much as I've done here, and I won't put pressure on my pencil. And I can change now to another color. I'm just picking something, and again, if I want it very light, then I'm going to put it very light. I know you can hardly see it, but it will show when I will activate it with water. So these are like watercolor pencils. The only thing is that they are ink based, so they are more intense, hence the the name inktense. There went. So okay, let's see. I think I will also go here with the same purple, the darker purple. And the thing is that you can put all the colors in advance, and only when you are finished then you work with the water. Okay, so I've done the purple. I'm going now for this blue. Let's just make one wing so you won't have to get bored. And let's see, maybe this green. I'm putting a very light coat here. Let's see. I have a template, and I don't know why, but I want gray. Do I want gray? I don't know. Other color. Haven't really planned. Going with this green, whatever. Very light. Okay, so I've got this. So now I'm taking a watercolor brush, and I'm putting a little bit water. Let's move these things so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I hope now I'm in frame. Little bit of water, picking only with the tip of the brush. You don't need puddles of it. And I'm starting with the light. I like to do a very small circular movement. I feel it blends my colors better, but that's just me. And I'm just moving towards the darker color. Okay, so I like this combination. It's less vibrant than this one. Yeah. Okay, so just so you will see the petals, like here, it took me some time to get the hang of it. I just want to show you. If this was the petal and I wanted it almost white towards here, then what I've done is I've started with, again, the darker purple here, very subtle, and then I took another blue, put it like this, and now I'm not putting anything here. I'm taking the brush with water, I'm putting water here, okay, and now I'm starting to work this, and I can push it towards like this, and I can clean my brush if I have too much water or too much paint, and I can subtract here, and that's how I made the petals. And if I want more color towards here, then I will push it with my brush. So once again, I'm not an expert. That's how I've done it, and that's how it looks. So I'm going to finish the dragonfly. Probably will put some of this nail polish on the wings, and then everything needs to come together, I think. Maybe I will add some stenciling on the background, but it's still wet, so I'll be back. Finally, it's dry, so now I want to add details to the background. I've picked two stencils. I've got light blue and very, very light peach. I don't know what to call it. And I want to start stenciling. So I'm putting this one here and taking some acrylic paint on the makeup sponge, dabbing the excess. And, well, I'm doing it quite randomly. I'm also hoping that I hope that it will add interest to the background. I hope it will tone down a little bit the background. I like all the colors, but I think it needs a little bit of toning down. I'm trying to stencil this not in straight lines, and also when I almost don't have paint on my sponge, I continue stenciling, because then it looks faded and not harsh on the page. I'm not pushing it, It doesn't need to be in your face, it just needs to go with the page. Almost don't have paint on my sponge, but I continue. Yeah. Next, taking this color, again quite randomly. I'm also overlapping on the other stencil. Always trying to find some balance between adding interest and just putting too much in the back. I don't want it to distract from my focal image. Let's see. It's a little bit difficult to stencil on top of all these wrinkles that I made, but I don't care, because as I said, this is not something that needs to be precise. It's just in the back, adding interest. Okay, let's see, maybe one more here. I need to know when to stop. Okay, let's see. So, flower approximately here. I will trim it later. And here is the dragonfly, and as you can see, I've added the glitter. And yeah, I like it. And now that I can see where everything goes, then I can see I can add a little bit more of this. And I think I will just glue these two down, and then I will see where it gets me before I'm adding something that I can't remove. I'll be back. Okay, so this is it. I've finished. It's glued down. I like it, and I thought about doing some darker color just to frame my page, and I decided to leave it be. So this is it. I hope you like it and you try something like that. I don't know if you can see the glitter. I really like it. Not much for glitter, but this time it just seemed like it's needed for the dragonfly. So thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.